tonight on UCentral News. Hurricane Helene intensifies to a Category 3. Hear from former UCO staff who was in the storm's path. Soccer's on the road this weekend, and Nickel will have who and where. And finally, it's National Pancake Day. Find out how you can celebrate. All this and more happening right now on UCentral News.
Live from Central Oklahoma, this is UCentral News.
Good evening, I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Maureen Dirk. Welcome to this edition of UCentral News. Hurricane Helene is now a Category 3 hurricane with winds over 110 miles per hour. The story is expected to make landfall later this evening in Florida's Big Bend region, a lengthy curve in the Gulf coastal area north of Tampa.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has declared a state of emergency for 61 out of the 67 counties in the Sunshine State. Storm surge and flash flood warnings are in place, and people are being told to evacuate.
CNN's Michael Yoshida has more.
Please leave. Just please do. It's not worth it. Just get out. It'll either be here when you get back or it won't. But don't leave yourself in harm's way.
Officials are begging residents in counties around Florida to heed the warnings and evacuate before it's too late.
If you're on the fence about evacuating, please do. Go ahead and make that. Let me nudge you on off the fence. Do evacuate. If I wasn't the sheriff, I'd be evacuating somewhere else. You can believe it, because this is not going to be fun tomorrow.
The storm's far-reaching outer bands already bringing tropical force winds onshore, pushing water onto streets. The monstrous hurricane is slated to slam into Florida's Big Bend coast Thursday evening, bringing with it dangerous winds, flooding, and storm surges the National Weather Service described as unsurvivable.
When you're talking about 120, 125 mile an hour, potentially in Tallahassee, certainly on the coast as that makes landfall, those are not numbers that we've seen in recent years.
Millions of people around the southeast will feel the impacts from this monster storm, with schools and businesses closing and utility crews staging all around the region. In Steinhatchee, Florida, I'm Michael Yoshida.
George Lang, former UCO staff, is currently in Fort Myers, Florida. George stated that heavy rainfall is expected this evening. Right now, Fort Myers has a tropical storm warning in effect. Local authorities in Fort Myers continue to monitor the impact Hurricane Helene is having on greater Southwest Florida area as it passes the Gulf. The Fort Myers area could see heightened winds overnight at the last bands of the storm roll through.
With the current weather conditions in Florida, we are in for a sunny week. Or does Hurricane Helene have other plans?
Let's toss it over to Carly for our first look at weather.
Thank you, Shanice. Welcome back, Broncos. We are going to look at our current conditions. We are sitting with some pretty sunny weather right now. We have 82 degrees with winds coming in from the northeast at about 6 miles per hour, but our gusts are going to be up to 12. Our humidity is up to 41% and it feels like 85. That humidity is what's making it feel just a little bit hotter than what it is, but it's nothing too bad. We are going to take a look at our allergy index today. As you can see, our tree and our grass pollen are pretty low, along with our mold spores over here. But our ragweed, on the other hand, is pretty high up there. We are feeling it. I feel it. I know you guys feel it. It is pretty high up there. But looking into ahead, we are going to be seeing our low 80s and sunny these next couple of days. But the winds that are going to be coming in are going to increase that allergy index that we did just look at. So that ragweed is just going to continue to rise along with the other pollens along with it. And then going into later into the week, we are going to start seeing those lows in the 50s, just in the evening times though. I will have your full weather forecast later on in the show. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much, Carly. The UCO Melton Gallery hosted the Get Your Melt on the Melton to showcase the Melton Gallery's newest exhibit, Welcome Hope. Students were able to get a sweet treat while also participating in an immersive experience. Welcome Hope is designed to foster creativity and community engagement, inviting participants of all ages to contribute to a collective artistic expression. Unlike our traditional art galleries, this experience emphasizes participation, allowing each visitor to input and shape the environment, resulting in a space filled with inspiration and hope.
This month is Hispanic Heritage Month. To celebrate, the UCO Hispanic American Student Association will be participating in the annual Calle dos Cinco Fiestas de las Americas Parade. HASA is hosting a Float in Celebra event where students will be able to receive a free ice cream float in exchange for helping HASA members decorate their float for the parade. The event will be held from 4 to 8 p.m. on Friday, September 27th in the Student Involvement Center, room 141 of the NI. To volunteer to help decorate or to sign up to walk with HASA in the parade, visit UCOR for more information. Fiestas de las Americas has been an annual event that takes place during Hispanic Heritage Month since 2006. Several schools, businesses, and community groups participate in this event. The parade will be from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, September 28th on the Southwest 25th Street in Oklahoma City.
Interested in getting involved in the community? Now is your chance. Register for Little Event. Volunteer is now open on UCOR until 11:59 p.m. on Friday, October 11th. Little Event is a campus-wide day of service hosted by the Big Event organization that focuses on serving local community partners and residents. Little Event will be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, November 2nd. For questions, email Big Event.
Edmond Electric and Urban Forestry are teaming up with the Arbor Day Foundation to offer free trees for Edmond residents through the Energy Saving Trees program. The program also offers an easy-to-use online mapping tool to take the guesswork out of the tree planting. 245 trees will be available and will be easy to reserve beginning September 30th by visiting the City of Edmond website.
A local nonprofit will be able to double their productivity after a donation from Oklahoma Natural Gas. Edmond Mobile Meals is a nonprofit that delivers meals to elderly and disabled people in the Edmond area. They were presented with a $32,000 check to cover the appliances for a new kitchen. With this upgrade, they will be able to increase the output of meals from 200 to 400 a day. Edmond Mobile Meals has served over 1 million meals in their 50 years of community service.
And coming up after the break, we'll find out whether or not Hurricane Helene is really affecting the rest of our week's weather when Carly has our full look at weather.
Thank you, guys.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead.
Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Good afternoon, Broncos, and welcome back. We're going to take a look in today's weather. We are sitting at about 82 degrees right now. Pretty sunny outside. We do have some winds coming in from the northeast at about 6 miles per hour, but we will see that there is 12-mile-per-hour gusts that we are feeling right now. We do have a little bit of a high humidity today, and it does feel like 85. That humidity is what's making it feel just a little bit hotter than what it actually is. But looking out across the state, as we can see, we are sitting at mainly in the 80s everywhere we are. Up in the Panhandle, we do have at 88. That is our hot spot for today up in Guyman. And then down at Altus, we are not far behind them with 87. Our metro area is down in lower 80s, almost in the 70s actually at 81. But looking into tonight, we are going into clear skies with 56 degrees. Our winds are still going to be coming in from the northeast, but just a little bit slower at 5 miles per hour. Our humidity is going to go up just a little bit to 65%, and we do have a tiny percent chance of rain with 5%. But going into tonight across the state, we are going to be seeing those lower 50s. Like I said, those lower 50s down in the metro, we are seeing. We are at 58 up here, and then the Panhandle, we are going to be in Guyman is going to be about 52. Enid and Ponca City, we are going to be at 54. And then looking into our daily forecast, as I said, we are going to see those lower 50s within the evening, but as this morning, those lower 50s are kind of drizzling into our morning routine. So this morning it was pretty foggy, but we were still at 54 degrees. And then it did start to warm up just a little bit at noon, and then we're up to 78 degrees. And then later this evening, we are going to be back down to 78 because we are currently at 81 right now. Looking into tomorrow, we are going to be seeing those 80s. Hopefully we'll be in those 70s here pretty soon, but we are still in the 80s. Up in the Panhandle, we are at 86 degrees, and then Altus at 87. We're in the low 80s at OKC for 82, and then Enid is going to be at 84. And then looking ahead, like I said, we are going to be seeing these low 80s, and we are going to be having a little bit of sunny weather these next couple of days. We are going to still have some wind coming in, and it is going to increase our allergy index, so we do need to keep an eye on that and keep our tissues on standby. We are going to have some lows in the 50s as well in the evenings as the week continues on. That is all I have for you right now. I will toss it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you. I know I'm definitely feeling the up and down of the weather that we've been having. Earlier in the week, I was pulling out my sweaters, and now I'm pulling out my t-shirts.
Right, going from hail to a super sunny day. I leave the house in the morning and it's cold. When I leave, it's hot. I expect nothing less from the Oklahoma weather. Yes. Thank you, Carly. Coming up, find out which celebrity was revealed on this popular competition.
And find out which superhero is the first to have a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. All these answers and more later in the show.
Happy birthday! Make a wish.
Miss you guys.
Blue skies smiling at me, talking about blue skies. Do I see bluebirds singing a song, talking about blue skies from now on?
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Are you really sure this is all going to fit?
Oh, it'll fit. I got that. All right.
When hauling anything, ensure it's secure. Losing your load is dangerous for all drivers. We want everyone to make it home safe. Help make Oklahoma safe by securing your load.
Good afternoon, Broncos. I'm Riley Townsend here with your Central Social Media Breakdown. Yesterday, Reese Witherspoon took to Instagram to announce that the race to find a young Elle Woods had begun. Reese Witherspoon and the team behind the classic 2001 Legally Blonde are starting a prequel series called Elle. The series will air on Prime Video and is set to come out in 2025. The casting call is open to everyone, and Witherspoon says she is excited to see the people's take on everyone's favorite blonde. The show will follow a young Elle Woods as she takes on high school in the 90s, and of course, she's doing it in style. Last night, The Masked Singer had their 12th season premiere on Fox. The show is a game of celebrity Guess Who. America's shining stars dress up in elaborate costumes of their choice and show off their vocal skills to a panel of judges. In each episode, the contestant with the lowest votes is unmasked, and everyone tries to guess who's under the mask. Judges this season include Rita Ora, Ken Jeong, Robin Thicke, and Jenny McCarthy-Wahlberg. Last night, the former Denver Broncos quarterback, John Elway, was unmasked after he sang his rendition of I Like It, I Love It by Tim McGraw. Elway chose the character Leaf Sheep. Elway said the show was out of his comfort zone, but he's making the most of retirement. 3 YouTubers have teamed up to create Lunchly. Lunchly is a pre-packaged lunch kit intended for children. Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI released Lunchlys in partnership with Prime, a popular drink. They claim Lunchlys are a healthier alternative to Lunchables. The lunch features Feastables chocolates, and entree options include turkey, Stack'ems, pizza, and nachos. The YouTubers are facing serious backlash as another popular YouTuber and family physician, Dr. Mike, reviewed the product and compared swapping Lunchables to Lunchlys like swapping cigarettes for vapes. Early this morning, it was announced that Hoda Kotb will be leaving the Today Show early next year. On the Today Show, Hoda talks about her 60th birthday celebration in August and how she realized it was time for a change. The announcement was full of heartfelt sentiments and a few tears. After almost 30 years on the show, she has assured fans that this would not be her last appearance on television. She didn't specifically name what projects she had in mind going forward, but she did mention she has plans to explore ventures within her home network, NBC. Iconic fictional character Batman was honored today on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Batman will be receiving a star in front of the Guinness World Records Museum. Batman will receive his star in the category of motion pictures. Batman will also hold the Guinness World Record for being the first superhero with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The star will be placed next to television's Batman, Adam West. Batman has been a beloved character for generations, and the coveted star will continue his legacy. Well, girls, I love Legally Blonde. What are your thoughts on the prequel?
I'm a big fan of Legally Blonde. I know our UCO Theater did it last year. I love all of those little 2000 movies, Mean Girls, Legally Blonde, that area. So I'm excited to see what they have cooking.
Yes, musical theater definitely reawakened my Legally Blonde era, and I can't wait to see the new sequel. Thank you so much, Riley. Coming up, Bronco football head coach Adam Durrell has a mission for fans.
And Edmond High School football is returning tonight. Find out who plays when we come back.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the mass comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Broncos athletics will be in full force this weekend with its 23rd ranked football team hosting a big MIAA conference game Saturday night. But in his weekly press conference yesterday, UCO's head football coach Adam Dorrell didn't talk about X's and O's. He talked about what he wants from the fans this Saturday. Take a look here.
Big thing that I really want to do is I want to pick up where we left off from a energy atmosphere in the stadium. I mean, I know you've been here a long time, a lot longer than I have, but it's just different this year in the stadium, and I'm very appreciative of what our band is doing, our admin staff, and how you guys have made it a great atmosphere with the DJ. It's a fun vibe. Our student section's really bought into it, so that's what I want. I don't care someone.
Dorrell and the undefeated Broncos will clash with the Fort Hays State Tigers at Chad Richardson Stadium this Saturday night at 7 p.m. The Broncos are seeking revenge after Fort Hays State shut them down at their place last year, 34-0. To the hardwood of Hamilton Fieldhouse as the undefeated Broncos squad is set to open up conference play this weekend against two Kansas opponents. The Chos will first battle the 2-11 Newman Jets, who were here last week for the GAC and MIAA crossover, where they lost all 4 games in the event. Then Central will have a Saturday matinee matchup against the Gorillas of Pittsburg State, who are an even Steven 5-5 on the year thus far. Start time for this game is at 2 p.m. To the pitch as the 3-3 Broncos soccer team will open up conference play against 2 tough opponents. First, the Chos head up to the capital of Kansas to face off with last year's national runner-up and the Washburn Ichabods. The Ichabods are 3-0-1 in their last 4 games. That game is at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Then the Chos will travel an hour southwest on Sunday to take on the reigning MIAA Conference Tournament champions and the Hornets of Emporia State. The Hornets are also currently 2-1 on the year in their non-conference schedule. This game will start Sunday at 1 p.m. To the high school ranks, Edmond Memorial football will be back in action tonight after a bye week, traveling to Norman North to take on the winless Timberwolves. The Bulldogs are looking to open up district play on a high note and looking to match the number of district wins they had last season. It was only 1. Kickoff tonight is at 7 p.m. There are 3 other Edmond schools that play tomorrow night, as they will also open up district play against various schools around the state. The 2-1 Huskies of Edmond North will also take a business trip over to Norman to battle an undefeated Norman Tigers team. Meanwhile, at Deer Creek, the Antlers open up conference play against the Plainsmen of Enid. Deer Creek is undefeated thus far entering district play. Enid is 2-1. Finally, the Wolves of Santa Fe have had a rough first 3 weeks, and it doesn't get easier as Tulsa Union takes the drive westward to battle the winless Wolves team. All 3 games kick off Friday night at 7 p.m. To the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys look to find their winning ways on the road after dropping the last 2 at home. Them boys will head up to East Weatherford to face divisional foe, the New York Football Giants, on Thursday Night Football. Daniel Jones and the Giants are coming off their first win of the season against the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Kickoff is at 7:15 on Prime Video. Elsewhere in Oklahoma, both the Sooners and Cowboys are on the road again, and both teams are looking to avenge losses from the previous week. First, the 20th ranked Cowboys will travel to the Little Apple to take on the 23rd ranked Kansas State Wildcats. Both teams are coming off losses to teams from the state of Utah. The Pokes lost to Utah and K-State lost to BYU. It'll be a big game in the Big 12 and will impact conference standings. That game will kick off at 11 a.m. and be televised on ESPN. Then the Sooners will travel to the plains of Auburn, Alabama to battle the Tigers of Auburn University in the Sooners' first SEC road game of the season. Like OSU and K-State, both the Sooners and Tigers are coming off losses to open conference play. OU lost to Tennessee and Auburn lost to the Hogs of Arkansas. Kickoff for OU is at 2:30 live on ABC. Also want to give a shout out to Derrick Rose, who just announced his retirement from the NBA after 15 years, most notably with the Chicago Bulls, where he won the 2011 MVP. Maurice and Shanice, it's a great time to be a fan of Broncos athletics. Do you have any plans on going to any of the games in Edmond this weekend?
And you know I have to go and support our Bronco football team this Saturday. Roll the Chose.
You know, I have a lot of friends on the football team, so I'm really glad that they're doing super good this season. Thank you, Ian. Coming up after the break, find out how you can celebrate this national holiday.
And Carly will have our final look at weather. Stay with us.
Rugged, rough, built for the road ahead. Sometimes I feel like a shell of a man.
Commercials are fake. What you're feeling isn't. Call or text 988, Oklahoma's mental health lifeline.
How much difference can one vote make? Since 2023, more than 60 U.S. elections have been tied or won by just one vote. So this fall, your friend could be the tiebreaker. And that could make all the difference. People are more likely to vote when encouraged by a friend. So use your power to decide this election. Make sure you're good to vote and encourage your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
The University of Central Oklahoma grows and thrives. We move forward, daily living the Bronco way, being reflective of our neighborhood, community, history, and Oklahoma. This is what has made us who we are. Oklahoma's Metropolitan University, the third largest university in Oklahoma. This is where movement is. This is the University of Central Oklahoma.
Today is National Pancake Day, also known as flapjacks, Johnny cakes, griddle cakes, hot cakes, whatever you want to name it. Pancakes are a traditional breakfast favorite. Dating back more than 30,000 years, pancakes may be the oldest breakfast food in history. They're made with mixed batter and the toppings are endless, including butter, syrup, fruit, whipped cream, honey, nuts, my favorite, chocolate. Celebrate pancakes on Thursday by whipping up a tall stack and sharing photos on social media with the hashtag National Pancake Day. Now it's time for our final look at weather. Let's flip it on over to Carly.
Thank you, guys. We're going to take one final look at our 7-day forecast over here. As you can see, we are sitting in the 80s. We are going to have sunny days over here on Thursday and Friday, sitting at 81 and 82. We are going to have lows in the 50s during the evening, but on Saturday, we are going to have a little bit of an overcast, and it's going to be a little bit cloudy that day, but we're going to be sitting at about 83. Going into next week, we are going to have all sunny days, and it is going to be those mid-80s and then lower 50s in the evening. That is all I have for you guys this week. I'll toss it back to you guys at the desk.
Yes, and with that crazy weather we're having, hot and cold, I don't know.
I'm finally ready for it to just kind of chill out, but we are in Oklahoma, so the probability of that is not
anytime
likely.
soon.
But looking at her weather forecast, it doesn't seem that bad, so who knows? Well,
I was going to say, I'm definitely feeling the humidity.
Yeah.
Other than that.
That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you for joining us for this edition of UCentral News. I'm Shanice Hopkins.
And I'm Marine Dirk. Have a great night.
Okay,